Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining the second of our multi part virtual tour series with Japan Travel and Savor Japan. My name is Jeff, and I'll be kicking things off for us today. We're traveling to Tokushima Prefecture in Shikoku, and we're going to be diving into a mix of food, culture, and nature today. So we'll be having two teams on the ground, and we'll be alternating back and forth throughout the tour. Due to the timing, our crew is being very careful, doing their absolute best to stay safe, wash their hands, wear masks, and we apologize if any of our audio is a bit hard to hear. Uh, Obviously, I'm here in the studio now, so there's no worries from my side. But there might be some situations where we are all wearing masks, and there could be a bit of a problem there. But yeah, our tour today is part of the Savor Japan project, dedicated to sharing local life, foods, and experiences from across Japan. Um, Thank you for watching the intro video we had there. Sorry that there was a bit of a audio problem there. We'll send that to you guys again a bit later. But that was just a small sample of their work and what we're doing with them. So I'll speak a bit more about that project and our plans for future events with Savor Japan later on. But for now, first of all, I want to welcome everyone to our virtual event. Please do get involved with us today by using the Q&A option on the bottom of your screens. Uh, Ask questions throughout the call. We'll try to answer as many of these as we can. And there's going to be a live chat. So please feel free to communicate with your fellow tour participants as we go through. And now let's make our way to Tokushima Prefecture and meet our first on site team of the day. We're meeting with Sean and attended by his tourist who is in there, Rafael. So let's see what things look like in the area there. Sean, how are things looking like in Tokushima today?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nishi-Awa. My name is Sean. I'm originally from the United States, but I've been living in the Iya Valley part of Nishi-Awa here for almost 20 years. I'm a tour guide with local companies called Iya Valley Tours, but I'm a really big fan of mountain life. Obviously, the place to be for that. And hopefully today I can help share some of my enjoyment for this really special place. I got to throw this on real quick, excuse me. And I want to introduce our guest today.
Hello everyone, nice to meet you. My name is Rafael and I'm from Germany, but I've lived in Tokyo the past 2 years, but I've never been to Tokushima, so I'm really excited to be here today. Thank you very much for inviting me.
And guys, I'm just going to interrupt you for just a moment. We're getting a bit of a wind, sounds like it's a bit of a windy day there in Tokushima. So if you don't mind, could you just maybe get a little bit closer to the camera there, and we'll try to get your voices a little bit more clearly there. Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem, no problem. Anyway, again, welcome. Happy you're here, Rafael. So, yeah, as we were saying, we're in Shikoku right now. Nishi-Awa is actually located in the middle of Shikoku Island. It's in Tokushima Prefecture. Nishi-Awa takes up the western half of Tokushima Prefecture. And the name Nishi-Awa means Western Awa, whereas Awa is the traditional name for Tokushima Prefecture. Nishi-Awa itself is rather mountainous, as you can see. In the northern part of Nishi-Awa, there is actually some larger towns, but today we're going to be focusing our tour on the southern half, I guess you would say, of Nishi-Awa, which is actually called the Iya Valley. The Iya Valley stretches for about 60 kilometers all across through the center of Shikoku Island. And this area is actually famous for being a particularly hidden and remote place.
Yeah, this place is certainly remote. I didn't know that people lived so deep in the mountains of Japan.
Yeah, it's kind of a unique aspect about this area. We're going to talk more about that in a minute, but first let me talk about our weather today. I mean, today's clearly a very nice day. It's beautiful for the autumn, but the climate, even though this is southern Japan, it is a bit cooler here than the other parts of Shikoku, mainly because not just we're in the mountains with a higher elevation, but we're also nowhere near the coastline. So in the summertime, yeah, it's certainly much more comfortable than you would ever feel in Tokyo. I mean,
it was hot as hell this summer. I thought I was going to melt.
Yeah, this is certainly a good place to escape to and get away from the humidity, the nice breezes and such, make it much more enjoyable. As far as the winter goes, though, it is also colder. So the mountains will usually be blanketed in snow through the winter. And then lower parts of the valley will be getting some snow. But as you do go deeper into the valley, it's going to get below zero usually for most of the days in the winter. So it can feel quite cold in the winter. As far as access goes, where we're located is actually not so far from a train station. The main train station to come here is in a place called Oboke. Oboke Station is about 1 to 1.5 hours away from either Kochi Airport to the south or Takamatsu Airport a little bit to the north. Tokushima Airport is actually much farther away. It's on the opposite side of the prefecture. Or if you're coming here by train, Oboke Station is about 2.5 hours from either Hiroshima or Osaka. However, in the valley itself, there is no train. You either have to get around by either car or a local bus.
So what if you want to avoid a rent-a-car or a high price of a taxi? So are there a lot of buses going through Iya Valley?
This isn't Tokyo. All right, so there's only a few buses a day that go through the whole valley. So if you don't have much time, we do recommend if you can't rent a car, then either taking a taxi tour or maybe arranging with your accommodation to have a pickup or something like that. But the thing is that a lot of the roads, maybe you can see here, you can point out a lot of the roads that come through here, they're very curvy. You can see how the valley itself, it just winds all through. Most of the roads are actually one lane. So it does take a decent amount of time to travel around. It's not so quick like it would be in Tokyo, Rafael. However, one of the reasons why this place has been remaining so secret and kind of unspoiled is because it's not so easy to access.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this sounds like this looks like the complete opposite of Tokyo.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The Iya Valley is, considered one of the 3 hidden regions of Japan, and I would say that it's about as far from Tokyo as you can get in both lifestyle, culture, geography.
Yeah.
And the thing is that for a long time, the Iya Valley was relatively cut off from the rest of Japan. And the thing is, most people wouldn't live in a place like this, as you were mentioning, that these hillside villages that you're seeing behind us here, usually in Japan, people live in a flat area. They live in the plains where it's easy to farm, grow rice and such.
Right, yeah.
But there are no flat areas in the Iya Valley. So people have developed this lifestyle living on the mountainsides. And even at the bottom of the valley, it's not flat. So accordingly, they have adjusted their agricultural lifestyle, the traditions and stuff, to be able to grow food that would work well in the mountainsides, such as buckwheat, millet, and potatoes.
So no rice means no sushi here?
Yeah, there's not much rice, so there's not much sushi, but there is river fish. And then people also do a lot of hunting for wild boar and deer and that kind of stuff.
Wow, yeah. This is really a rugged place.
Yeah, the people are pretty tough too. As I was talking about with the roads, actually, the first roads that came into the valley were built within the living memory of the oldest residents. And actually, one of the reasons why it took so long to build a road into the valley is that the first 15 kilometers of this valley is unpopulated because it's too steep.
Oh, okay.
So that's another reason why it remained so secret for so long. because people are living deeper in, but there's no access to get into the valley unless you hike over one of these mountain passes here. So, but actually these little roads that go up into the villages were only built in the past 30 or 40 years. So before that, people just walked everywhere. Yeah.
And this place is super beautiful, but it sounds like a super tough life. So one question, why would people actually want to live here?
Okay. Well, one of the reasons why is specifically because it's a hidden place. Okay. For example, 800 years ago, there was a really big war in Japan. It was between two clans, the Heikei clan and the Genji clan. And the Heikei were losing the war. They realized they're going to lose the war. So right about the last battle, a lot of the samurai warriors that were fighting ran away from this war. And these Heikei samurai actually came over this mountain right over my shoulder here. They came over that mountain and they found this area. People were already living here, but they decided to hide here in order to escape from their enemies. And they ended up settling down, and then they actually helped create some of the traditions and culture that are still around today. So hopefully in our tour today, we're going to be able to explain and introduce some of these old Heikei legends that have helped influence lifestyle here.
It absolutely feels like stepping back in time.
Yeah, certainly. When you come here, it feels like you're kind of experiencing the roots of Japan. So anyway, let me explain some of our itinerary today. In a few minutes, we're going to shift over to Aki. She's our other guide. She's in the one of the more popular spots of the Iya Valley, and she's going to show you around there, have something to eat. Then we're going to come back to Rafael and me. We're going to talk about mountain life and the villages here, what it's like to live in the mountainsides. And then we're going to go back to Aki, and she's going to show you around one of the hot spring onsens that the Iya Valley is also kind of famous for. And as Jeff mentioned, throughout the day, we're going to have some time to take some questions and hopefully answer them for anybody else that's watching.
All right, see you in a few minutes.
Thank you guys. This is amazing. It looks like you guys have some really beautiful weather out there today, so we're pretty lucky, all in all. And we've already received some pretty great questions. Thank you guys for already giving us so much to go by. But we're going to get back to the questions probably after our next break. Before we do so, I want to point out for our viewers that we do have a few websites as well where we can learn a little bit more about Tokushima and our tours in Nishi-Awa conducted by local experts such as Sean and Aki, who are quite accustomed to the area. So we're going to be sharing a few of these links with you guys in the chat. So please do have a look at these. And let me just post these for you guys right now, actually, if I can. I think you guys can see this right here. And yeah, so next we're just going to be checking in with our second group of the ground team, where we have our guide Aki and our tourist Dory waiting to show us the vine bridges of Kazurabashi. So Aki, are you ready to show us around the area there?
Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to Nishi-Awa. My name is Aki. I'm a local guide from Yabari Tours. I'm happy you are here with us today, and I hope I can show you about the great part of the Yabari. And today we have a guest. Just a moment, please.
Hello everyone, my name is Tori. I'm from South Korea, but I currently living in Tokyo. So, and also I've heard of the Iya Valley and Shikoku, but it's my first time to be here today. So I'm so excited and I'm so happy that I could finally be here.
Wow, I'm so happy you finally made it. So, but I hope you are not afraid of height.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
let
walk
me
down. Let's go to close.
Oh,
Yes.
I
It's
see
that.
the crazy looking vine birds
Yes.
over there.
Yes.
Wow.
This is we are walking to Kazurabashi Bridge.
Yeah.
Now we are here. What you see is the Padlabhasi Bridge of Iya. It's 45 meter long and 14 meter above the river. It's pretty high and it is made of 6 tons
Wow.
of vine from the mountain.
I'm a bit nervous now. Oh my god.
Yes. So here we have a little quick for everyone.
Okay.
Watching.
What is it?
Okay. So how often they change vines?
Well, I hope it isn't like every 20 years.
Not. Actually, they change vines every 3 years.
Oh,
So it's
quite
safe.
often, yeah.
Yes. And don't worry. So nowadays they put some wires inside of the vines.
Oh, then it's
Just
safe.
in case.
Oh,
For
just
you.
in case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So before I make you too scared, let's try to walk.
Okay. I heard that there is some great local food on the other side.
Ah,
so
yes.
I have
We
to
must cross
cross
first.
it, okay.
Yes. And Dory, you should be little careful because there is a big spaces between the footboard.
Yeah, it is. Oh my god. You keep full. And Auntie-san?
Yes, it's pretty neat. So
I think this vine is
so as I said that they change the vines every 3 years.
Yeah.
This coming winter, maybe January or February, about 1 month, they change the vines. So now it's kind of old. So, but they build pretty well. So, yes, now, yeah. Oh my god, that's pretty high.
today is very windy.
Yeah,
so
it's
the bridge
windy.
is swinging.
Yes, windy even without the people.
Yeah, side to side. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Looks like a lot of our viewers are a little bit scared just watching this. Yeah. Aki-san, how far is the distance between the bridge to the ground?
So could you see, everybody can see the river? That's color. That's kind of blue, green, and very clear. It's so high. Can you see the whole view? And the stone. Oh, can you see the rocks? That is the blue stone. Really beautiful. Sorry, are you okay?
No, not okay. No.
It really shakes, especially today.
It's windy.
It's really windy. And maybe everybody hear the sound of the river. Really like a noisy maybe, but this is the real sound from the river. So please enjoy our nature.
Please hold you.
I'm okay. I'm used to so.
Wow.
We can hear a little bit of the river sounds. Yeah, it sounds really beautiful, and it's hard to really get the full feel. But when the cameraman pans down, yeah, we can see it's a bit scary.
Yeah, it's scary. And also, today is a holiday weekend. A lot of people actually. And you see the color, really deep, like a blue, green color. And the leaves on the surface of the river is floating. It's beautiful.
It seems like there's a lot of people crossing the bridge today. Is it a pretty busy day?
Yes, today is special busy day. So usually no like people the holiday weekend. So, and also, like, with some Vine British, this is really busy time, but couple of, later I will explain, but some bridge, they have less people. So, Dory, how is it?
I'm so scared.
It's shaking. People really have the song.
Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, this is vibrate, shakes, and moves without any people.
Make it horse.
You know, we're really lucky to have several hundred viewers watching us cross this bridge today. So let's give them a quick look down towards the river. See what they're missing out on.
Everybody see the
Oh
bottom?
man.
It's
I mean,
pretty high.
I kind of wish I was with you there, but not really.
I can
Wow.
fall.
This is pretty tough. Yeah.
Also
Well,
there.
this is actually Dory, our tourist. It's her first time to cross the bridge, from what I understand. So we have to give her a big pat on the back for helping us out today. Thank you, Dory.
How is it? Okay?
No, it's more scary than I thought. It's more scary than I expected. Oh my god.
Almost there.
Okay, almost.
Yeah. Almost.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're so brave. Oh my god.
No, I'm used to. And I heard like a long time ago, people check the outsider coming to river. If people walk like you, oh, you're outsider, be careful. But people walk like me. Okay, local. So that's kind of funny story.
You can. No.
In the first time, was great.
All right, omedetou. You made it. Congratulations.
You know, my legs are still shivering.
Oh my God. So here,
I made it.
let's see the bridge from the side.
Okay.
Could you see?
Yeah.
Today, a lot of people actually.
So many people are like get afraid of it, right?
And people, everybody really
Yeah,
scared.
walking so slowly.
Yeah. Yeah. Both of them.
Yeah, we walk.
Okay. So, once a time, Iyabari have many bridges. So, but there now is only 3 left. There is one, this one, and we have other 2. That 2 is the really deepest part of the Iyabari.
Oh, I see.
So, let's have another quiz here.
Okay.
Okay, for everybody. So, can you guess how many vine bridges there used to be?
Well, I don't know. Maybe a dozen?
Good
I
guess,
guess.
good guess. So,
Yeah.
there used to be 13 vine bridges in Iyabari.
Oh, it was close.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
close.
Oh, I see. By the way, the Iya Valley is the only place in Japan that has this kind of vine bridges.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. Yeah, it is the only the place. And the reason why they make bridges with vine, it is a part of the Heike samurai legend, as Shoen explained. So it is said that when the Heike samurai are found by the enemies, Heike samurai this side, then they cut the vines of the bridge with their sword. So hold the bridge, fall into the river. Then enemy can't come to this side. So now Heike samurai have a time to escape or prepare to fight back.
Oh, I see. But you know what? The bridge looks a bit topical with the sword.
Oh yeah. So no, this one, but original bridges are not well built like this.
It's different.
Really, well built. So I saw old black and white photograph. That looks really scary to cross. We can't
really?
do that. Yes, really big
Oh
and no much
my
support. Yeah.
Wow.
It's different.
Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Then I think you are looking for some local snack.
Yes, definitely.
Are you hungry?
Yes, I am. So
Okay.
what we're gonna eat?
Over there, we have a
yeah.
little shop.
Mhm.
They have a yes local snacks roasted over the fire.
Oh, now I can smell.
Yes, smell right, like a sweet
Yeah,
smell,
yeah.
and you see that
Some smoke.
smoke.
Yeah.
Yes, really like a smoky.
Oh,
no,
that
yeah,
one, right?
yeah, they have see a lot of
wow.
fish, guys. Here it's roasted with
So
corn.
is it a river fish?
Yes, it's called amego. It
Mhm.
swims in local river.
Oh, river.
Yeah, type of a trout.
Valley.
Yeah, Yabari.
Oh.
Yeah, and also we have a lot of little stream coming to Yabari, Iya River, and so people go fishing. It's really like a local.
Okay, so can I try?
Yeah, and you wanna try this?
Also.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
so
you
good.
can find on.
It looks delicious. Yeah, I'm kind of jealous. Please give it a taste. You gotta let us know how it is.
Can you see this, guys?
Yeah. We see it really well.
It's really nice, sweet smell.
Only
And
I
the
can
crispy
try it.
barbecue smell.
Yeah.
Okay. So how about that here?
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah,
nice.
here.
Yay.
So then again, another quiz for
quiz
everyone. Yeah, for you before you time is over, you can hit it right now. So I have a quiz about this one, dekomawashi, about this snack. So can you guess what the word dekomawashi means? I give a little hint. I give a little hint. Okay. So what does it look like?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It looks like a little person here is like.
Yeah. The top is kind of like a head.
Yes, you're correct. That was correct. So
All right.
the word dekomawashi means udundo or udon puppet. So it is made by a 3 years famous ingredients. Bottom piece is konjac piece, and middle piece for a cube of tofu, and of course the potato for head. And covered with a sweet miso.
Yeah,
It's
it
slow
smells
cooked
so
over
sweet.
fire. Yeah. So you should
So can I
try
try
it. Yeah.
Oh, please try it and let us know how it tastes.
Okay.
We're really interested, Tori.
Oh my god.
It must be so good.
Yeah, it is. This is potato, local potato. It grows that really. Then
Oh.
it grows like that because the start of the farm field of the ear on hillside is very rocky. So it's different.
What does it smell? What does it smell like, Tori?
Oh,
Different.
no.
No?
Yeah.
It's more like dense. I
Yeah,
feel.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Tofu is also
Wow.
very dense. And it is called ishi-tofu. It means stone tofu. It's dense like a stone.
Because it's dense.
Yeah, I also tasted really
That's
dense.
interesting. Yeah, it is.
tasty.
And what was this for again?
Yeah, that's part called konjac.
Konjac?
Yeah,
Okay.
that is a boiled paste from a type of potato. Yeah, they're really kind of common.
Yeah, it's chewy as well. Yeah.
But konjac is known as a very healthy food.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fiber, almost 0 calorie, and it's a clean your
It's good
system.
for my diet, right?
Yeah, so it's actually very
Yeah.
easy.
Oh, really? Wow. This is.
Oh, you guys are making us hungry.
Yeah,
It's not fair.
Oh, I'm so lucky.
that's really. I love this one too. So I like that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. I love this.
yeah, it's really tasty. And this amego, and only you can find in clean river like here.
Oh,
If you
I
go
see.
to dirty river, anything, you can't get this fish.
Wow.
It's special fish. And
Really?
covered by salt.
Good.
It's like outside crispy.
Mhm.
And people like it because
Yeah.
it's like a really fresh taste and very, not greasy.
And also, I like this red dots on your
Yeah.
skin. Wow,
Yeah.
it's really cute.
Yeah.
By the way, what's over there? Like people
Yeah,
are
we hear
going
the
there.
sound.
Yeah.
So, over there, it's a big waterfall. So
Okay.
let's walk over there.
Okay, I can hear the sound of water. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we can hear the sounds of the river. It sounds really nice, and we actually have several hundred viewers with us today. So we're so lucky to have so many people with us. So please do show us the waterfall.
As I said, this is Biwa waterfall. In Japanese, biwa means a type of classical instrument. This waterfall got the name of biwa because again, it's connected to the Heike Samurai legend. It is said used to Heike Samurai come here and play the song with the biwa guitar, and that song about kind of sad song. Yeah, think about how they miss the original home back in Kyoto.
So were the Heike samurai ever found by their enemies?
No, really.
Uh-huh.
So Heike samurai lived here for many generations and pretty peacefully. And the Yabari continued the pretty like a hidden place ever since then.
Okay.
They hear that it's very maybe strange story. Actually, I know some local people. The family roots are connecting to they can follow to connect to the Heike.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I know local really proud of Heike Samurai legend. Yeah, it's very important.
That's interesting. Wow.
Okay. And now I think does anyone like to ask some questions?
Yeah. Yes, thank you so much, Saki and Tori. We're getting several questions from both of our teams. The first question is actually about Kazurabashi, where you're located right now, and some of the audience members would like to know if the Vine Bridge there is it open year round throughout the year?
Oh yes. So that's bridge open every day for years, and from sunrise to sunset, except they change the vines. So every 2 years and only short amount of time. And but there is a double vine bridge in deeper part of the year. So yeah, they close during the winter from December to March.
Oh, thank you for answering that one. We're getting a few more questions here and there throughout the chat. Some of you guys are asking questions through the Q&A platform, and some are going to the live chat. So it's a bit hard to keep up with everybody. But are there any other bridges in the area besides Kazurabashi?
Yeah. There is the other one we call double vine bridge. And they have a double. They have a two. About 1 hour from here.
Oh yeah, no, we would love to explore the area there a little bit more. But I think the next we're just gonna have to jump back right into the tour here. So thank you, Aki, and I think thank you everyone for your questions, and please do keep questioning us. And next we're gonna check back into Team A with Sean and Rafael, and they're getting back into a slightly different area of the Iya Valley area here for us. So let's take a quick look with Sean and Rafael as they're now oh wow, and the weather looks just beautiful there. So thank you guys. Sean, Rafael, how's everything going?
Oh yeah, we're doing good. Right now we're standing in what's actually called Ochai Village. It's one of the oldest settlements in the Iya Valley. the village itself just goes right up the hillside. That's why we do have such a great view. Like everywhere else, all the villages go up the mountainside here. I think we have a picture that we can show that was taken maybe from the opposite side. Can you show that, Jeff, maybe? So you can maybe look back at the village that we're standing in.
Yeah, we'll get that up. Yeah.
So hopefully as you're seeing there, yeah, the village climbs right up the hillside. From the lowest point in this village to the highest point, there's an elevation difference of 390 meters, which is a bit more than 1,000 feet, actually. So it's actually pretty steep. Actually, Ochi, the village itself, is registered with the government as a nationally important location for traditional architecture. And the reason why is because the village is full of traditional thatch-roof farmhouses, one of which we are standing next to right now. So if we want to take a look here, this is one of the thatch-roof farmhouses of Ochi.
Wow, this house looks really beautiful. It's nice.
Yeah, a few years ago, many of the thatch-roof farmhouses of Ochi were restored, and they're now available for people to stay in, including this one here.
Oh, so no one lives here, so I can actually stay?
Yeah, this is a place to stay if you visit. Actually, in Ochi, there are 8 thatch-roof farmhouses like this one. I mean, everyone is different, actually. The architecture is a little bit different in all of them. And then I think we have some interior pictures of this. The grouping of these 8 houses is called Tokushima Iya. Each house has its own unique style and character. Some have traditional furniture, some have modern furniture. And when you stay, you get the whole house to yourself. Some of the all the houses have modern kitchens and bathrooms. And so if you don't feel like cooking, then you can actually have meal catering, which will let some people from the village, they'll actually come to your house here and cook a local meal for you, and they'll do it together with you.
Wow, that's a nice experience.
Yeah. Actually, not just here in Ochi, but all throughout the whole Iya Valley, as well as in Nishi-Awa in general, there's a variety of homestays you can do, where actually you can stay with families in similar style houses, a little bit newer, a little bit older. Every house is different for the homestays. And the homestays are actually kind of cool because you're hosted by the family that lives there. So you're actually staying with their family. And then they're going to, you can do things together like preparing meals and do farming activities and stuff like that.
Oh, that's so cool. So actually people still farm here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in Ochi, even though this is a preservation area, it's still very much alive. The people are still living, this house is for stay, but all the other houses people live in. And it's a bit late in the season now. It's kind of coming to the end of the autumn. But all the fields around us, in the spring, the summer, they're going to be, full of people growing different kinds of food.
But, these hills are so steep. I can't even imagine farming here. It must be pretty difficult,
right? If you would imagine that the hills are like a bit too steep to farm on, the thing is that the people of Nishi-Awa have developed like styles of farming that are unique for growing food on hillsides. And actually the United Nations recognizes the Nishi-Awa farming techniques as I think it's called a globally important agricultural heritage system. So this farming style is actually very unique to this in the world.
But I have one thing to mention. This kind of looks overgrown.
Yeah, well, all that long grass you're seeing there, actually, it has a purpose. Okay, it's not. It's there for a reason, actually.
Okay.
So, but can you guess why do they keep the grass like that? It's not overgrown.
Yeah, maybe it's some sort of fertilizer, maybe.
Yeah. It's not fertilizer for here. What they'll do is actually right about now at the end of the autumn, people come, the locals, and they'll cut all this grass by hand, and they're going to stack all this grass up in these tall kind of like stacked bundles. And I think we have hopefully some pictures of this. And in the stacked bundles, they're called koigoro. It's a local word. And then what happens is they take these stacked bundles, let them dry through the winter. And then in the spring and the summer, they're going to chop up all these bundles into very small pieces, about 2-3 centimeters, about 1 inch long. And then they spread all these pieces on top of the fields. So that acts like a fertilizer, but at the same time, it keeps the dirt moist and protects it from the sun and drying it out. And then at the same time, also that cut grass that sits on top prevents the rain from eroding the mountain and pulling the dirt down the hillside. So that's also another unique idea that they developed to protect the mountain from eroding. But the grass also has another use. I mean, actually, they use it for quite a few things. But can you guess one of the biggest uses they might use it for?
So the first idea I had is because this kind of looks like wheat. So maybe can you make bread out of it and eat it or something?
No, it's actually a bit too tough to eat.
Okay.
No, they use this grass to, there you go, make the roofs of the houses. Actually, this is the thatch material that they're using for making all the roofs.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and as you can see with the roof of this house, there's an enormous amount of thatch that's necessary. Every 30 or 40 years, they would usually traditionally replace the roof of the house. So about once every generation.
Wow.
But it's a bit too big of a job to do as one family. So locally, all the people in the village would work together. And then every year they would rotate from, family to family, house to house, and they would change the roof of a house, of a different family's house every year.
Oh, wow. And yeah, you said before that people don't eat much rice, right?
No, yeah, because the hillsides, there's some terraces and such, so they could grow a little bit of rice. But nowadays, people do eat rice. I mean, there's a road, you can go to a store just like anywhere else. But traditionally, they had to grow what they could grow in the mountainsides here. And so I think I mentioned before, they grow potatoes, they grow millet, and they grew buckwheat. Do you know what the word buckwheat means in Japanese?
It's soba, right?
Yeah, soba. Yeah, that's probably the more common word that people living in Japan would know. Soba. But Iya soba is a bit unique. It's a bit different than what you might find in Tokyo.
Okay.
Here they make it with 100% soba wheat. Okay. Whereas in Tokyo or elsewhere, they're going to mix either potato flour or wheat flour. It helps hold the noodles together. It gives a bit different consistency. But here, the noodles, since it's 100%, they do break apart a little easier, but the flavor is much more hearty.
Okay.
And the valley has like a whole variety of like restaurants, I guess, that specialize in soba, hotels specialize in soba as well. And you can even take like soba making lessons where you're gonna learn how to like cut the noodles yourself, even grind up the wheat, the soba wheat by hand on like a stone mortar and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
So it's a pretty cool way to learn how to like make soba. Yeah.
I want to try that.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned that they also grow millet here?
Yeah, millet. Again, there's, they had to grow what they could grow here, and there's actually several varieties of millet that grew wild in the mountains, and then they developed what these varieties were. And it kind of fell out of interest once they started being able to get rice into the valley. But actually in the past few years, there's been this renewed, I guess, interest in millet because it's pretty healthy. And people have realized this. So nowadays, like all across Japan, people will mix millet with their rice.
Oh, okay.
So, and actually the name millet, the name of Tokushima Prefecture is Awa, Nishi-Awa, I said. Awa is a type of millet.
Oh.
So it's the name for Awa is millet. So yeah, it's pretty cool because they grew millet all over, not just the Iya Valley, but this whole region and such.
Nice. And what other foods do people eat here? Is there anything other traditional
dishes?
Yeah,
actually one of the most traditional dishes, actually, it's one of my favorites. It's called hirariyaki. Okay, this is actually something you're only going to find in Iya. It's pretty cool. What they would traditionally do is you take a gigantic stone, okay, like a big flat stone, and you build a fire underneath it, and you're using the stone as a frying pan.
Wow.
But you could also use, nowadays, people use like a metal griddle or something, like a big metal griddle. And then around the outside of this, you would put a big thick wall of miso paste.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so like it's a really thick, like, 4 centimeter high wall of miso paste that goes around it. And then inside of this, you're going to put pretty much everything you can find in Iya. From potatoes, the stone tofu Aki was talking about. You're going to put konnyaku, she also mentioned, onions, the river fish as well. And then you pour in a bunch of sake. and then you let it all start to stew together inside the sake, right?
Oh, wow.
And then all the miso starts to melt from the walls, and it starts to mix inside, and then everything's gonna slow cook, especially on a stone. It doesn't get particularly hot. It's this really slow cooked thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it's something I really love. So yeah, you should try it sometime.
It sounds like a winter dish, a perfect winter dish.
No, people like to make it actually in the barbecues outside in the summertime and stuff like that. So,
wow.
but that's the thing. It's not really something you're gonna find in a restaurant. Some hotels might have it in for dinner, like if you reserve it or something. And then also if you do stay at like a homestay, some of the homestays they'll do it too, especially if you request it. So that's also, you know, something cool about when you stay at the homestay.
You're making me hungry. And life is so interesting here. It's completely different from Tokyo.
Yeah. I mean, I love the mountains. So I mean, that's why I like to stay here and stuff like that. I mean, certainly we're surrounded by some of the highest mountains in Shikoku. I mean, are you a fan of mountain hiking?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what you should do, I mean, if anybody else, if you like mountain hiking, I mean, the mountains here, I mean, this mountain right in front of us, it's called Mountain Yune. It's a great mountain to hike. Deeper into the valley is actually, you can't see it from here, it's actually the second highest mountain in Shikoku, or actually the second highest mountain in all of Western Japan. It's called Mount Tsurugi. It's a pretty famous mountain. It's actually one of the 100 famous mountains in Japan. It's 1,955 meters high. And actually, if you're not big into climbing, Mount Tsurugi is fairly simple to climb. It's only about a 1 or 2 hour hike up. And then on top of the mountain, there's this guest house hut that you can stay in. And, you know, they have meals there and such. But it's great because there's millions of stars at night.
Wow.
And
I
then,
want to do that one day.
yeah. I mean, it's one of the darkest parts of Japan, actually, in the middle of Shikoku here. And then also, there's like just great sunrises and sunsets that you can see from, you know, the mountain hut there. So it's like a really cool place to stay.
Wow, nice. Yeah, this place is so peaceful. I love it.
Yeah, but the peacefulness also has I don't want to say a downside, but I mean, like anywhere else in Japan, there is a depopulation issue. Like people have moved away more and more through the years, and so it's in one way it's a little bit sad that, you know, people are not so interested. But on the other hand, there's a woman here, and she has a very unique way of handling the depopulation issue. Have you ever heard of what's called the Nagato Scarecrow Village?
Scarecrow Village?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nagato.
I've seen something like that on TV once.
Yeah. Maybe you see videos or something about this. And actually, it's located like at the deepest village in the valley.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's just up at the farther end of the Iya Valley. And for people who don't know what this is, the Nagato Scarecrow Village, it's a small village, but one of the residents there, when she was growing up, there was about 300 residents in the village, and now there's less than 30. So she decided to repopulate this village about 15 years ago with a bunch of life-size dolls. And then when you go to this village, there are just hundreds of dolls that fill this entire village, and they're just doing activities. So they're working in the fields, they're waiting for the bus. They're the school, the old school there, she's filled up the school, all the classrooms with like doll kids going to class with teachers and stuff like that.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a really neat place to like walk through, and she even has a workshop where you can like learn how to like make one of the, you know, a doll with you there and stuff like that. And then you can either take it home or you can add it to her collection. But I mean, it's one of the coolest souvenirs that you could like ever get, like so your own like, you know, Scarecrow doll there. Yeah. So
there's a lot of stuff to do here.
Oh yeah. I mean, we don't really have time to go through everything, you know. And actually, if I can open it up, I mean, does anybody else have a question they want to ask me about lifestyle in the Iya Valley?
Yeah, Sean, that's really great, and thank you, Sean and Rafael, both for showing us around the area there. We do have several questions from the audience, and first one is kind of a basic one. Do the local people still live in these thatched house farmhouses that you've been showing us here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was showing the one here, which is the you know, a place to stay, but like along the main road, the road is relatively new at the bottom of the valley, so the houses there are slightly newer, you know. But when you go up into the hillside villages that are like all around us, all the houses are old, and almost all of them, like every family is going to have probably one thatch-roofed farmhouse. And but the thing is that obviously replacing the thatch is quite a chore. So most of those houses will have a metal kind of shell that goes on top of them. They put metal roofing on top of the thatch. That way it kind of protects the thatch from having to rot. It doesn't rot out. And then they keep the thatch inside because it acts like a really thick layer of natural insulation. But yeah, definitely people still live in these old houses. It's kind of the way of life here.
It's really interesting. Some people were asking if there's wildlife in the area. Is there snakes, bears, things like this in the region?
Yes, and yes, actually. There is out by Mount Tsurugi is actually the only bears in Shikoku. It's a small group of them. They think it's only about probably less than 20. They're not sure of the exact number, but in the rest of Shikoku, there are no more bears. There are some snakes, but there's also a whole variety of other like nicer animals, I guess you would say. I mean, there's deer, there's flying squirrels. Those are pretty cool. You see them in the evening. Yeah, they'll jump off the roof and just shoot right down the mountain. It's actually a fun. And you know, a whole bunch of smaller animals, and as well as wild boar, and also something that's called a seiru. It's a type of mountain goat.
Oh.
Yeah. So in Japanese they call it kamoshika. And I think the English word is called seiru. It's a type of goat. It's quite interesting. It's quite large actually. It's an endangered species, but you actually see them quite a lot around here.
Okay. Wow. Haven't seen them.
Yeah, it's really interesting. A lot of people are just interested in a very basic question. How can we get there from Tokyo? Is there a quick, easy route to get?
Aside from flying to an airport, I mean, obviously any domestic flight would take you into Takamatsu or Kochi. And even there, Takamatsu Airport has some international flights, especially for East Asia. But if you're coming from Tokyo, you can either fly or you can take the train. You can take the Shinkansen. I believe it would probably be about 5.5 hours or so to come in from Tokyo. So it's about 2.5 hours from Osaka. So probably about 5.5 hours from Tokyo.
Well, great. Well, we got a few more questions, but we're going to save it to the end. So let's go ahead and switch back. I think we're going to move back to Team B, who is setting up for us in a more relaxing area, perhaps in the local hot springs. And this particular area is, yeah, it looks just beautiful. It looks amazing. So Aki, Dori, I think they've made their way into the area now.
Hello.
Yeah, hello guys. Thank you so much. And are you ready to show us around again?
Yeah, sure. Hello
Yeah,
again,
please.
and welcome back. So now Dory and I at the Hotel Kazurabashi. It's close to the Kazurabashi Bridge.
Yeah.
We will just take a short cable car ride up to the mountain. It's just behind this hotel. So here we are with Okada-san. He works the hotel here. He is going to show us around one of the bus.
Hi, welcome to Hotel Kazurabashi. Okay, let me tell you about a little bit about our onsen. Our open air onsen is located about 100 meters higher than our hotel, and it's accessible by the cable car. And our onsen water is simple sulfur spring, and it's good for.
It's beautiful.
So this is good for skin, and also good for the sensitivity to cold, and there's many more. And right now, we are in a private open air onsen. So this is for the hotel guests only. But basic onsen is the local.
Okay.
So they can use all other onsen except this one.
Oh, that's great.
So this one is very private, right?
Yes, this one is very private. So they can enjoy the onsen and enjoy.
Amazing. Wow, that's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
the mountain scenery.
And this is also private view spot.
It is, yes.
Wow. Oh,
look at that. The mountains are.
Can you guys just show us a quick panorama of the area? This looks beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that is the garden for the hotel.
Yes, we grow our own vegetable.
Oh, and you use that for your food.
Yes, but not we cannot cover everything, but
Yeah,
you
but you use
Wow.
that.
yes, we do.
Still,
Oh.
it's fresh. That's
Wow. And is that firewood?
Yes, that's for the irori.
Oh, sorry, for what?
Irori?
Irori?
Irori is a Japanese traditional fireplace.
Ah.
They have one here. I will show you in a moment.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, it's go
Yeah.
over there. Thank you, Kada-san.
You're welcome.
Thank you very
Please
much.
enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this hotel have a few different style of the baths.
Yes.
Then so this is the private one.
Mhm.
They have also outdoor hot spring bath over
Yes.
there.
Okay.
And the garden here is so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a rooftop or more like a top of the mountain.
In the autumn
Yeah,
leaves.
autumn leaves.
It's
And this
beautiful.
is the late autumn flower. And they have a garden just for this area.
Oh, really?
It's really
Wow.
taking care.
This garden is
Yes,
beautiful.
the
Wow.
waterfall, rock garden.
Oh,
and the
look at
moss.
this.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's moss. And also this is plant because this is the color is very red.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And this is the main women's outdoor bath.
Oh,
Of course, this is great view.
Yeah.
And a little stream here. Wow. And nice.
I love this place. It's like a little village.
Yeah, it is. And of
Wow.
course, this one for men outdoor bath. It's great view again.
Okay.
Wow. And over there is the cable car that we came up.
Oh,
in.
yeah, right. That was.
Yeah, let's take a look at the cable car. How does that work? We can kind of hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the cable
so this is the track
So
where
it
the
looks like a
cable
little
car.
house.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Oh,
we took
that's
the
really
cable
cool.
car, come up here. Around the cable car, this is a hill. You can see different kind of the birds. And the autumn leaf really beautiful here.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, thanks. Man, look at the red colors. Wow, that's amazing.
Here is the traditional tea house.
Oh.
Could you see such a roof?
It's so
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
It's really classical. So
Yeah.
let's go inside.
All right, we're going inside a traditional tea house. Okay, let's see what this looks like. I'm excited.
Oh my god. This is amazing.
So
Wow.
this
Wow.
is the irori
Irori?
you are talking with. Traditional fireplace
yeah,
on the
yeah.
floor. So please have a seat.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So by the way, it all gets so dark like this because of the smoke.
Yes, it is. It does.
Oh.
And also,
Yeah.
the smoke from the fire
Mhm.
helps to keep such the roof dry. So it's pretty dark. We can't see, but it's
Oh,
very
yeah.
dry. And also, smoke prevent insects
Mhm.
from eating it.
Ah, I see. Wow. But it's Japanese people are so clever.
But is it a little bit too smoky for you? Is it
The
actually
smoke is quite strong.
So I will open that.
Wow.
Yeah, open it up.
Yeah.
Let's
From
see.
here
It's
is
nice
amazing.
view.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So great.
What a great place to cook a meal.
Oh, the komawashi just you've eaten.
Yes.
That used to be, and the people cook here. You can imagine. Yeah.
I see.
So this is the way people used to live.
Mhm.
You can imagine.
Could they cook here?
Yeah, cook here. Daytime is pretty dark, But they could hear the data media people, of course, working at the field, farm fields. And at evening, after they come back inside, they continue to the evening work, different work with the candlelight or oil lamp or whatever they have. So like making the glass handle or weaving the mat like this. People used to really make this. Okay, then maybe I should show something really interesting. Okay.
Please.
So first I show you. Oh, okay. So here is the final quiz. Can you guess
I don't know.
what this is?
No.
Oh, well, I have no idea. I thought it was kind of like artwork.
Yeah,
Nobody
vintage.
knows.
Yeah.
Well, it's the answer is, this is really smoked, so I got the new one.
Yes.
Oh,
So
somebody guessed a raincoat.
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 Raincoat. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's a raincoat.
Kathleen
Maybe you should
Williams
try on.
guessed it. Wow.
So people
And
this is the raincoat.
Nicholas
So
guessed
okay.
it.
Your butt, so
Okay.
it's your butt like that.
Oh, wow.
People wear the
The
raincoat
raincoat,
like
nice.
that. So while they work on the farm field in rainy day, and of course there were kind of the hat, triangle hat. So all the rain didn't go inside.
Oh, I see.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is like a raincoat made the same glass as a
Other roof?
Yeah, everything made the same from the same material. Then also they have also sunny day coat. Little bit different design, but they wear that to avoiding strong sun hitting your body too much.
Okay. Wow, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's cool.
Okay,
Good. Yeah, it's a good look for you. Yeah.
One more story that actually I've seen local older people wearing jeans. Now,
Still now?
this year, I see a couple of times every
love
year.
this raincoat.
Yeah, it's still we are using it.
Wow. This is interesting.
Okay.
Yes.
So and one more thing I like to show you. Okay. Oh, little bit of black.
Yeah, it's very Wow. What is it?
Oh my God. Come here.
Is it small
Oh,
onsen?
and relax. Yes. This is a heated food bath.
Oh, good.
It's great to enjoy the view.
Wow.
Get in if you like to get in. And this water is about 37 to 38 degrees, very comfortable. It's not too hot.
38 degrees Celsius.
Whole
Nice.
body
Yeah.
getting really warm.
Yeah, it's true. It's really warm and perfect. Perfect temperature.
Oh man. I gotta
Thank
get
you
in
so
there
much,
myself.
Aki-san.
Yeah.
It was incredible tour.
Oh.
Thank you for such a wonderful
I hope you could enjoy. Thank you for visiting.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay. I think it's now we have a final chance to ask some questions.
Absolutely. I'm gonna switch it back to a bit of a panel view here so we can see all of our teams here, Team A and Team B. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Oh yeah, we can hear you fine. We have Team B, Team A. I think Team A is on mute here, but yeah, let's get to our final round of questions for the local guides, and we may even be able to take a few live questions if anybody wants to take. Oh, sorry guys. If anybody wants to raise your hand during the chat and give us a live question, we'd be happy to take that as well. Before we do, I hope our viewers can assist us with a quick survey to evaluate and improve our tours going forward. I'm just gonna link this in the chat for you guys, and sorry to bother you guys with this, but just a quick evaluation survey for us so we can try to improve our work going forward and keep improving. Please do check out that link I just posted in the chat and give us a quick 2-3 minute survey. But yeah, first we have a first question for Aki, actually. Aki, could you let us know when is the best season to visit the Iya Valley?
Okay. So it's popular season to visiting Iya Valley is spring and autumn.
Oh.
Because spring, it's a new leaf is coming out everywhere. All mountain looks like almost gold. It's fresh green.
Yeah.
And autumn, as you see, all mountain have trees are changing colors. It looks like a colored carpet.
Yeah.
And the contrast with the river is really nice. Yeah.
Leaves are changing color from the top, right?
Yeah, it's a whole different. But as a local, I must say two other things.
Yeah, what is that?
So because it's summer, it's also really nice because here it's so comfortable. You can enjoy outdoor like a summer activity and barbecue. Evening is really, it's comfortable. So if you are living in a cold, like a hot, very hot area, I recommend to visiting here for summer. And also winter. It's difficult. It's winter. It's difficult to come here. Sometimes it's hardest winter hit the -5 or -8. It's pretty cold. But it's cold view. It's no leaf. So it's black and white.
Covered with
snow. The snow and no like a leaf tree. Black and looks like an ancient black and white painting. It's so nice.
That must be beautiful.
Yeah, then you can take the bus with hot tea or hot sake with the view. That's also nice.
So you recommend?
Everything. That's what I love here. So that's why I'm living here. But I avoid raining season.
Yeah. Spring and autumn look absolutely beautiful. Yeah, thank you for that. And we have a question for Sean and his team as well. What months of the year are you likely to find snow? For some of our viewers, we don't always have snow in our local countries. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, through the winter, so from December until March. But every year, the amount of snow is going to be different. One thing to consider, though, in the winter is that now in the lower part of the valley, when I say lower part, I mean, it's a 60-kilometer long valley, so more closer to the entrance of the first half of the valley, where Aki is right now, where the hot springs are and such. Things remain open all through the year. The hot springs are open and such. But when you go deeper into the valley, like the deeper half of the valley, things do close down in the winter. So she mentioned there's another set of vine bridges. I talked about the mountain hut and stuff like that. Some of the guest houses also, they do close down in the winter because it is a bit cold and the snow can be a little bit unpredictable. But of course, if you want to see snow, between December and March, but every year is a little different. Last year, we didn't get too much snow. The year before that, we got tons of it. So every year it goes from year to year.
Yeah. And just a quick follow-up for you, Sean, and this is kind of for me as well as a fellow American, but how would you explain the area and to persuade your friends from the U.S. to come on over and check out this particular area of Japan?
Well, obviously, is persuading someone to come to Japan in the first place. But I think the thing is that for a lot of people, when they imagine Japan, they're thinking of Tokyo. They think of maybe something traditional like Kyoto. But a lot of people forget that Japan, I mentioned before that this is kind of the roots of Japan. But I think anybody in Tokyo or Osaka or any large city, they all have a family that does come from the countryside, whether it's their direct family, their parents or their grandparents, or it's some type of lineage. Like most people do have a family connection to the countryside. And to suggest that you come to Japan, you should really experience that countryside part of the country. So you're not really seeing the whole country unless you see that both sides. Just seeing the city the whole time is not really true Japan, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then if you want to go to the countryside, this is about as extreme as you're going to get in Japan. Because people actually live here. This isn't just like an onsen resort town where they just build a hotel. People actually lived here, and they've lived here for 1,000 years. So this is not a purpose-built location. This is an actual living and thriving kind of community.
And I'm not quite sure if this question is for Sean or for Aki, but is there a specific type of nightlife that the locals are into in that area? Because I imagine as a rural destination, you know, there's not the standard nightlife going on. But what would you guys recommend for those looking for a bit of a nightlife atmosphere?
Aki, you want to take that or should I? Okay. Well, to be honest, no, there isn't really nightlife going on here. It's not exactly bars and such. There are a couple places though that are open up in the evening, I guess you would say, where the locals would just go and have some, you know, have some beers or have some sake or something like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people just gather together because they know each other. But as far as like going out on the town here, that doesn't really happen so much. Like I said, there are a couple places, but it's certainly, how do I say, it's different than the city nightlife feel. You're not gonna find a disco here. Though we have had a couple parties at our houses in the past, make up for that lack of disco.
I imagine that the starry sky is like once it comes down to real nighttime, like this type of night sky is very beautiful, correct?
Oh yeah. You know, a lot of people have barbecues. I mean, that's a big thing that people do with their own family, friends, and stuff. Especially in the summertime. You know, your friends over, getting some getting some of the wild game meat and stuff like that. And I'm a trapper, so you know, I always have a freezer full of deer and stuff like that.
Wow.
So it's nice. So we just throw steaks, and it's pretty cool.
So the next time I need to plan a barbecue, I'm gonna call you up, Sean, and come down to Shikoku and hit you up on that for sure. We don't really have anybody raising their hands in the chat, but if you guys want to, you certainly can. Oh wait, I might actually have one here. Let me just see with a quick English instructor here. We have someone who raised their hand. Do you have a question for us from the chat?
Yes, I'm curious as to whether you have any local community events that everyone participates in.
Oh, thank you for your question. Sean or Aki, please take it away.
Local community is not much this year, but usually we have a couple of seasonal festivals. Even each village have a small village, have a local festival. Everybody helps and to kind of ritual for the mountain god usually, but also after that, they do the party. So that is a part of, and we have a regular festival, like a summer festival or autumn festival. So people come to help to set up everything, and also people enjoy kind of. So the local is more just everybody connect together. Every event, everything is just a local thing. It's not much that thing, this thing. So it will be together. And one thing is really interesting. We have a local middle school, elementary school, kindergarten, set school we have. That one have every year they have a sports day. So undokai, so sports day. Usually just a school and the mom and dad, parents. That's it. But in here, all village goes, If, I don't have a child, but I can go and not only just watch, but it's everybody will play. So it's all the village together. So it's pretty fun here, everybody together. So
Sounds great.
yeah, it's fun, yeah.
Yeah, actually, the village that I'm in right now, Ochai Village, Aki mentioned that they do like the ritual festivals for the neighborhoods, and actually twice a year, Ochai also does those festivals as well. And it's open to anybody. There's a shrine right in the center of the village here, and it's in the afternoon, and people dress up in like these yukata kind of costumes and stuff. Some people might even, there's like, if kids are there, they'll have their face painted in these kind of traditional ways. And they do this very interesting, like spear throwing to each other activity where they don't throw it at each other, toss it in the air.
Sounds
Like,
dangerous.
flowers. And they pass them over to each other. That festival, the date changes every year. There's one in the summer and there's one in the early autumn, but it's on the old lunar calendar. So it's not the same day every year. It does change because they use the traditional calendar.
Yeah, thank you guys. No, I mean, we've been so lucky today. We've had several hundred viewers, the most we've ever had on one of our virtual tours. So really appreciate everyone joining in and asking questions. We did have another question, just asking a little bit about the local community, the families. Are there people in the area, Sean or Aki, that are willing to host travelers and maybe a homestay type of situation, that are the people that are really looking to experience a full immersion?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, there are several homestays in the Iya Valley as well as all of Nishi-Awa. Unfortunately, a lot of the local, like the homestay type situations, the people don't really understand the internet so well here. I guess I attempt to help people. You might need to use Japanese a bit because people don't translate or they don't care to translate. But that's the other thing, that like finding these locations could be a little bit tricky. They're not just going to be on Airbnb and you can book it. Like you're going to have to maybe do a little bit of research. I think we have a link there for the Nishi-Awa webpage, and there's going to be some information on there as well. But all over Nishi-Awa, there's quite a few different homestays, and it's best to try to contact directly as opposed to using like a middleman, like TripAdvisor or something like that, because the homestays are not going to be listed on them.
Sean, Aki, do you have any final comments that you want to mention from your side, or you guys good to go?
I'm happy everybody came, and sometime in the Iya Valley.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We're just about out of time today, and we really appreciate all of you guys attending. Hope you had a nice time with us today in Tokushima. As I mentioned, we're planning to host a few more of these coming up. Winter is coming, so we're going to be into the snow season, and actually we're moving north into Japan, into Akita and Yamagata and some of these areas for our next virtual tours. So I hope you guys will bundle up for the next ones. But we do plan to keep improving our content and quality, offer more tours in the future. So please stay tuned for the next announcement. A special thanks today for our Tokushima guides, Sean and Aki. You guys really did a great job and worked hard for us. And our tourist, Dory and Rafael as well. Thank you. Thank you guys. Really appreciate all of you. Thank you all for watching today. And we wish you all a wonderful weekend. So thanks everyone, and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
And asking, we'll get back to these later on.